You recognize this painting? You must, right? Yeah. So one of the key things that Zinsser talks about that I'm really attracted to is this idea of unity. So I chose this painting because when you know a lot more about this than I do, but like how, especially you can see the textures and the brush strokes, there's kind of a uniformity even from the town to the hills to the sky. So there's a kind of like a connectedness. But in writing, like one of the key things that people often mess up on is like they change tenses all the time, or they start out in the first person and then they flip to the third person, or in sports writing sometimes they use the second person. So be very careful about tense and person. For instance, like in general, if you're talking about your own experience, almost always use the first person. It's really important. This idea of unity. So now I'm going to jump to what I call pre-writing strategies. When it comes down to it, it's like what Aaron said. It's two things. It's like what they want, and what they want they put in the prompt, right? And then the other thing is how your experiences line up with the prompt. And so, like if you come in and meet with me, one of the things, we have a little worksheet, so you can kind of have this model T thing going. But it's really just T, it's not forward. So you put, so on the left, you go through the prompt, and you analyze it for the key constructs. Like for instance, the Udall scholarship is all about, it's about actually a speech of Udall, one of the Udalls in environmental. So it has, it has about 6 different constructs. Activism or something. And so what you want to do is on the right hand side is try to list your experiences. By the way, this is a good little formula for writing a cover letter. If you have to write a cover letter, this is how you do to analyze the job description. Put your experiences as they might be going on. And this is a good pre-writing. So one of the key things to do before you start writing is to organize and do really some thinking about your own experience, which is sometimes hard to do because we're so either present or future oriented. So I recommend, well, maybe not with a lot of kids around, right, Renee? But you might even listen to some quiet music and just sit quietly and think. I like to listen to music when I think. The other big, really important way you can kind of gather stories is to tell your stories to a friend or especially to an advisor. Like, if you come in and you're going to write that Fulbright personal statement, it's just one page. I'm going to have you tell me about studying abroad. Where did you study abroad here? London. I would say, well, tell me about a key experience in London. So I would have to top something out loud. But there's something really important about telling something aloud. And what I'll usually do, like if I'm working with a student, I'll say, oh, that's it. Oh, or oh, that's really rich. So. But there's something about the oral telling of the story that I think can be really important. The next thing I want to talk about, other good things are just depending on your style, like Renee likes to make lists, and I'm not so fond of it. Like other people can really benefit from like kind of controlled free form writing, like just go, and just take a vignette or a narrative that you have and just blast away. You know, don't even worry about form or anything. Just like get everything down. So like other people like to make outlines and lists. I find that people are in different styles, but either way are kind of good things. One key thing to do is like keep up to date your long resume. So if you don't have a long resume, come in and talk to us about it. But look at your own resume. You can go, oh yeah, I went to the Philippines. I did this experience there. You go, oh yeah, I actually need to include that.